Everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about presentations. So it's a presentation about giving presentations. It's like presentationception. So let's jump into this and see what we got to say today. Okay, now as an engineer, you're going to have to show your supervisors and investors that you are doing a good job. If you don't, they're not going to give you money anymore, whether that's through a paycheck or through grant funding. So you got to show them that you know what you're doing. So you're going to have to present your results. Now, a good presentation can break or make your work, because no one cares if you cure cancer if you can't convince them to listen to you. Just as a note here, hopefully your boss is going to be awesome and amazing, but some bosses make things harder on you. I worked for NASA. I'm not going to say which NASA, there's actually a bunch of them. I worked for NASA one summer during my graduate years, and it was awesome. However, the very first time I gave a presentation to the people I was working for, they spent a good 30 minutes after the meeting critiquing the formatting of my presentation. Literally, one guy stopped me and said, "Greg, can you switch back and forth between slides 11 and 12? And there was one figure on slide 11 and one figure on slide 12 that were like the same type of figure, just for two different settings. And when I went from slide 11 to slide 12, it moved just barely. It would jiggle just a little bit because they weren't perfectly overlapped." He's like, "That shouldn't happen. You need to fix that." So I would spend a good, I would say 2-3 hours working on the formatting of my presentation before I met with that person. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you, but you still got to remember that formatting is important, and then how you present your results is a lot of times more important than what you're actually doing. Okay, so let's keep on going here. Now, when you're making a presentation, you got to ask yourself these questions. Who is my audience? Well, in this case, it's you. You are a bunch of students who are trying to learn about engineering, and you're my audience. Now, what's my purpose? Today, to teach you about giving presentations. Other times, to teach you about Excel, to teach you about what engineers do, whatever it is. Whereas the equipment I need, currently sitting on my lap, because I just use my computer for everything. When am I on the program agenda? It's an online course. This time I don't have to worry about that. If you're watching this in future semesters though, whatever our class time is. Why am I giving this talk? Because I love my job. Also because I want to teach you and you need to learn. How long should I speak? Statistically, they say 6 minutes is about how long you should speak for an online class, which is why most of my videos are around 6 minutes long. You thought that was just by accident. No, I'm trying for that. Okay. So with that, you have to remember that presentations are terrifying for a lot of people. And if you get freaked out about speaking in front of people, that's completely okay. One thing I strongly suggest is you find some way to worry without showing it. I knew one guy who would take a paper clip and he would just bend it to smithereens while he was doing his presentation. I knew another guy who would rip his notes just completely to shreds, hidden behind a podium so nobody could see that he's doing this. Otherwise it's just like, oh my goodness, he doesn't love his work, or his work is terrible because he's ripping it up. No, he would just do it behind a podium so nobody could see. And in doing that, that was how they got rid of their nervousness, rid of their fear. They were to work through it. It's also good to find a couple of people that in the audience who you know and look at them and say, okay, this person right here, I'm going to look at them. They're going to help me. And the last thing is, make sure you do your presentation for someone who is completely comfortable with you beforehand, because they will roast you. That's my wife. My wife is the one I give my presentations to first, and she roasts me. Oh my goodness, she makes fun of everything I do. Any mistake, any fumble, any stutter, she just lets me have it. And that way, when I go to the classroom and I make mistakes, it doesn't bother me anymore. I've already had the worst that can possibly happen. My wife is completely devastated at me. And so therefore, it's all good from there. Everything is a good surprise. So remember that. Getting roasted by family members or friends is probably a good way to get rid of that nervousness and feel a little better when you go in there. Or maybe not. Depends on your personality. So with that, I'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye.